You go to the gym, you lift the weights, run the miles, track the protein. By almost any modern measure, you are in decent shape, and you would last about 4 days doing what your ancestors considered a completely normal week. That is not an insult. It is one of the strangest and most revealing truths about the human body, that the species that built skyscrapers and satellites is physically weaker than the version of itself that lived in caves. And the reason why tells you something uncomfortable about everything you think fitness means. Ancient humans were not stronger because they trained. They were stronger because they had no choice but to move every single hour of every single day. And their bodies responded by becoming something modern science is only now beginning to fully understand. Anthropologist Timothy Ryan at Penn State University conducted bone density studies on prehistoric human skeletons and found something that stopped his team cold. The bone walls of ancient humans were dramatically thicker and denser than those of modern humans, even modern athletes. Not slightly thicker, significantly thicker. The kind of thickness that only develops through sustained, lifelong mechanical loading that begins in childhood and never stops. Your bones respond to stress by growing stronger. This is called Wolff's Law, named after 19th century surgeon Julius Wolff. The more load you place on a bone, the more bone tissue your body deposits along the lines of that stress. Ancient humans placed enormous loads on their bones every single day from the moment they could walk. Carrying water, hauling kills, building shelters, crossing terrain that had no paths. The result was a skeleton modern humans no longer produce. But it was not just the bones. Bioarchaeologist Alison McIntosh at Cambridge University analyzed the leg bones of prehistoric European farmers from around 7,000 years ago and compared them to the leg bones of modern Cambridge rowing athletes, some of the most intensively trained humans alive. The ancient farmers won. Their bones showed greater structural strength and more robust geometry than the elite rowers. People who farmed without machines, who walked everywhere, who carried everything, had legs that outbuilt the legs of people who train for hours every day. So what happened to you? The answer is not laziness. It is architecture. The human body does not arrive in a fixed form. It builds itself according to the demands placed on it during development. Your genes provide the blueprint. Your environment decides how much gets built. Your ancient ancestors' environment demanded everything. Movement was not exercise. It was survival. There was no sitting at a desk, no driving to a destination, no elevator to the 3rd floor. Every calorie had to be hunted, gathered, processed, or grown by hand. Researcher Herman Poncer at Duke University has spent years studying modern hunter-gatherer populations, the closest living analog to prehistoric humans, and found they move an average of 9 to 15 kilometers every single day across terrain that would challenge most modern hikers. Not because they are trying to stay fit, because life simply requires it, and their bodies reflect it. Lean muscle mass that persists into old age. Bone density supplements cannot replicate. Grip strength that would humiliate most gym goers. Cardiovascular endurance built not from 45-minute sessions, but from a lifetime of never truly stopping. Here is the counterintuitive part. They were not healthier in every way. Ancient humans had parasites, infections, injuries, and a life expectancy that makes modern medicine look miraculous. Strength and health are not the same thing, but raw physical capacity was higher in the version that never sat still. The modern gym exists precisely because we removed from daily life the demands that once built these bodies automatically. You now have to simulate the conditions your ancestors simply lived in. And no matter how dedicated you are, 1 hour of intentional exercise inside a climate-controlled room cannot fully replicate the physiological pressure of 12 hours of daily survival movement, beginning in childhood and never stopping. Your body is capable of becoming something closer to what your ancestors were. The blueprint is still there. The genes have not changed in any meaningful way in the last 10,000 years. What changed is what your environment asks of you. It asks almost nothing your body builds exactly as much as it needs to. Not more. Tonight, when you close your laptop and sink into your chair after a long day, your body will feel the deep and honest comfort of rest that it has earned. But somewhere in your bones, there is a blueprint drawn for a different life entirely. You go to the gym, and your ancient self, who never needed one, would find that both impressive and slightly puzzling.